Early evening, and my phone buzzed with a message in Spanish. I had a traffic infraction, and if I wanted to be able to use my car over the weekend, and we were Friday night, that I had to pay right away. Now, I could give you a list of red flags, but scammers can read and they'll know what they are, and actually, their messages are getting really, really good. So instead, I'll give you something much better, a method that they can't fake their way around. Hi, I'm Chantal, and welcome to AI for 50 Plus, born before Wi-Fi, owning AI. I spent more than 25 years as a trial lawyer, and there's a habit that really served me well and still serves me well. It's when I receive a message or a letter or an email that I didn't expect, I'm suspicious, and I treat it more like a witness on the stand where I ask a lot of questions until the truth falls out. Today, I'll show you exactly how, with the real message that came after me, and with AI as your co-counsel. So here's that text, and you see it here. It starts with sistema, the system, and then the infraction, and then the threat. Avoid restrictions when you're driving on Saturday and Sunday, and pay your fee right now, with the link, and then you can travel safe. So I live in Mexico, and my Spanish is good, but it's not my first language. And there's an extra half second where I'm translating, where I'm a little off balance. And that half second is exactly what they count on. The panic is the product. So these type of messages aren't really about a fine or a package over your bank. They're about getting your heart rate up so that your judgment just steps out of the room. And look, there's another one that I got right underneath here, which is another traffic infraction, texting and driving this time. And I wasn't even in the country that day. So they're everywhere. So of course I didn't click on that link, but I have another example and it didn't end as well. So I have a girlfriend and she was waiting for a package with DHL. She gets a text and it says that she owes some custom fees that she had to pay. There was a link and she clicked and she paid. Well, it wasn't DHL. Days later, she had charges that she had never made on her credit card. She had to cancel her card, the whole ordeal. And in Mexico, it takes forever to get your card back. So that was another issue. So one tap, and because it landed at the right moment, she was expecting a package, she fell for it. Now, in a nutshell, this is what happened. So 3 things lined up. Authority, it was DHL. Urgency, we're waiting, to deliver, and she was actually expecting a package. So when those 3 line up, almost anyone would get caught, really. So it's not, am I smart enough to, spot those? It's what do I do when I actually get one? Because you will get one. I've been getting, I think, a few a week. Really. Sometimes it's DHL, sometimes it's traffic. And there's a lot of them. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And what it takes really is more of a change of mindset. Now let's break it down. When we receive an email or a text message like that, we have usually one of 2 reactions. Either we panic and we obey, we tap and we pay, or we panic and we delete and we block and then we're rattled for hours. Now, there is a third way, and it comes straight from my old job. When a witness takes the stand, usually the witness starts very confident because it's his lawyer asking the questions, they've been prepared, and they're great. And then you arrive to cross-examine. And what you do is you don't argue with the witness. You don't run either. You're unfazed. You just keep asking questions. You're persistent, and one question at a time, you chip at that confidence. And then at some point, the truth comes falling out. So that's what we're going to do with these texts. And you don't need to do it alone. AI can be your co-counsel. It can be kind of like the junior lawyer that does the research while you're asking the questions. Some of you saw my earlier video about a tool called Malwarebytes, which is a great tool, and I put the link of that video in the description. And I still use it, and it's great, and I'm just going to show you how to use it. So I'm in ChatGPT here. You can also use it in Claude as well. So you click here at the bottom, you go in more, and then you scroll, and you see Malwarebytes here. You click on it, and it appears here. And then you ask it a question. Today, though, the video will not be about that tool. It's about a method, because it's going to show you a bit more how to think so that you're not dependent on one tool. Now, one thing that I want to remind you, though, in that same video, I explain in more detail one important safety rule, and that's beware of prompt injection. Because what you do is you never copy the whole message of the scam or the whole text that you got and paste it in ChatGPT or another AI, because a scam can hide instructions inside the text that can trick the AI to say everything is fine. So instead, what you do is you describe it, or you can copy and paste the link. Can you tell me what that is? So that's a tool that you can use, and now we're going to learn how to cross-examine our text. How do you even cross-examine a text? Well, in my career, when I caught something that mattered in a document, it was based on a very boring habit. I read the fine print, the part that everyone skips. And that's the bet every one of these messages makes, that you won't read the message closely. And reading closely is cross-examining the text. But before we look at that text now in detail, if you would like to have one-on-one AI help, I'm offering AI clarity sessions for people over 50 or younger. Check the details in the pinned comment and in the description. For a text like this, and I'm back to the original one, the Sistema one, there are 4 questions that you should ask. The first one is, who's testifying? A phone number, I don't know. So first you check that if you know the phone number. And the second one is, it identifies itself as Sistema. That's it. And that's the first red flag. A real government office or bank identifies itself properly. The second one is, where does the link actually go? And that's the big one. It's the one that my friend missed with DHL there. The words in a message can say anything, but the link actually will give you the truth. You do not click on it to find out, but you read. And the true destination is the part right before that first single slash. So it's .shop here. A traffic authority would not collect fines as a .shop address. And my friend's DHL link, of course, didn't end with .com. So that's the second question. The third question is, why the rush? Pay now or they'll restrict my driving this Saturday and Sunday. That deadline isn't real. It's there to stop me doing exactly what we're doing right now. It adds urgency. Real institutions give you time. It's never like now. So urgency is the third tell. And the question 4, what do they want me to do? Tap this link, pay this money, hand over this information. Name it out loud, and then the manipulation gets pretty obvious. And remember that Malwarebytes tool that I mentioned? We're going to go see, because I pasted my most recent one here at the top, and you'll see it here, this link here, and I pasted it in there to get a bit more information. I'm in ChatGPT here, and I had called, of course, Malwarebytes, and this is what I said. This is a link from a text I just received, apparently for speeding. What can you tell me about this link? And then, of course, Malwarebytes says it's suspicious, has been flagged as potentially dangerous, and then it continued. Another one, which is super interesting, domain registration. And what it says is it's a scam phishing link because it was registered a day ago at the time. Newly registered domains are commonly used in phishing and text message scam, then abandoned quickly. And then Malwarebytes gives you everything, and even if you have already clicked it, which I hadn't. So a link born yesterday is suspicious in itself. The scanner is a helper, and it confirms actually the verdict that the 4 questions pointed to: guilty, fake. That verdict was reached with a clear head in about a minute with no pounding heart. Not because we're clever, but because we asked instead of reacting. When a message like that comes in, normally you're stressed out. And I was stressed out when I got them, but it's when I started getting a lot of them successively that I started being a bit less stressed. But chances are that maybe you won't think of the 4 questions, so I'll just repeat the 2 that are really important. The first one is consider the source. Who or what is sending the message? Check the number. If you don't know it, likely you won't. And check how it identifies itself. And if, for example, it says it's your bank, well, of course, don't click on the link. Don't call the number that they give you. Actually find the real number and check with the real institution. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the message is not really the important part that you should focus on. You should really focus on the link. And we've seen that it's really easy sometimes to see where it's coming from. So just before the first unique slash there, backslash, you'll get the dot something. And in my case, dot shop was so obvious. I didn't even put that one into Malwarebytes. Now, the one that I put into Malwarebytes, I put because it was Finanza something. And I said, it sounds a bit more official. And Malwarebytes told me, no, it's really fake. It's a scam. So you can use Malwarebytes. So look at the sender and look at the link where it's actually going to. So that's the important part. Now I have some notes here. What you can do if you live in the US, Canada, and the UK, you can forward the message. You press on the message and you hold, and then there's going to be a menu popping up, and you're going to say forward, and you forward it to 7726. And that actually spells spam on a keyboard. And it reports the text to your phone carrier for free, and you might even get a message back saying thank you. Now, I couldn't test that one in Mexico because we don't have that system, but I just used my phone's built-in blocking feature. So I blocked them all. Once I was confident that it was a scam, I simply blocked it. And this works not only for a traffic infraction, but a message, a text message from IRS or CRA in Canada, or a message that your account is locked unless you do something, or you can't get your Amazon refund unless you give your details. It works for all of it. So the same questions work, including those last 2 that are really important. So those scammers really think that you're an easy target, but not anymore. You just needed a method, and now you have it. So if this was useful, please subscribe. And if you want a way to tell whether a video, not a text, but a video is fake, check out this video. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.